The trade window is open for the Eagles, and you better believe Howie Roseman is gonna strike. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, kick thing back here. The trade window for the Eagles is open, and when I say that, the reason is simple. The Eagles like to trade right around their bye week if they can do it. They love to do it then so they get their player that has about a week to adjust to coming to this team. And make no mistake about it, the Eagles are going to look to make a move, especially with a win versus the New York Giants, then expect it to go down during that bye week. We are in the window where Howie Roseman is going to strike, and it is Howie Roseman season, no doubt about it. But before we get into it, we've got a few things we got to talk about. First thing is this. The Eagles did make a roster move today. The Eagles have opened the practice window for cornerback Ja'Cory Bennett and signed guard Sua Opeta to the practice squad. Now, here's my opinion on both of them. I like bringing back Sua Opeta. I think he could be decent in the run game. We need to get the run game going by the playoffs, okay? And we got to figure out how to do that with guys who've been injured all year. Dickerson, Cam Jurgens. We don't know how serious that Cam Jurgens injury is yet. The Eagles wouldn't disclose or wouldn't say anything about it, so we don't know yet. But I'm assuming he's going to be out this week. The Eagles, as far as the secondary goes and Ja'Cory Bennett coming back, I'm very glad about this. I still think, and I'm one of the few people to think this, that we still got to give Ja'Cory Bennett a chance. I think Ja'Cory Bennett, he hasn't really proved whether he can play or he can't play with the Eagles, okay? He still was kind of adjusting. He seemed like he was getting a little more playing time, and then he got hurt. I actually think Ja'Cory Bennett looked way better than Adoree Jackson and Kelee Ringo. At least Bennett, when he did give up a catch, he tackled guys right away. There wasn't a whole bunch of yak. And I think the more he plays, the better off we would be. To be honest with you, I think that he may be the only move we're going to see in the secondary. I think the Eagles made their move for another corner when they got him. Now I think they're going to be looking to go and get an edge rusher. Okay, so that is good that we're getting Ja'Cory Bennett back. Also, let's talk about this A.J. Brown thing, right? Because every week it's a new A.J. Brown situation. A.J. Brown this, A.J. Brown that. A.J. Brown had 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown is still not happy. Of course they text me when I'm doing this. You know, that's all we hear. A.J. Brown this, right? The latest thing going on with A.J. Brown, as you guys know, and I really hate talking about this. I avoided it yesterday, but people just keep bringing it up, so I have to talk about it. Eagles wide receiver on his, Instagram said he put a caption up with a picture of himself, and then it says, quote, using me, but not using me. Now everybody's making a big deal of it. Cilio's like, oh, he hates his quarterback, and blah, blah, blah. Look, I got to tell you, it's either two things. Either he's got his own personal things going on, okay, that he's dealing with, or that this is a troll job. He is just trolling the media at this point. That's what I think it is. I think he's just trolling. He knows that he can get attention. He can put anything out there like that, and everybody's gonna try to make a big deal about it. Oh my God, A.J. Brown is a diva. Oh my God, we gotta trade A.J. Brown. Get rid of him. All ridiculous things. A.J. Brown, to me, is making a fool of a lot of media people who make a big deal about it. If I'm a player, if I'm not locker room, I ain't even worried about it. I'm going to ignore it. Just move on and do what you got to do. A.J. Brown, when he gets on the field, he plays and he comes through. What are people worried about? All right, you want to deal with A.J. Brown and should he be back? We'll deal with all that stuff in the offseason. Right now, A.J. Brown ain't going nowhere. So who cares if he's putting up stuff like that? I don't think the players, I don't think it bothers Jalen Hurts at all. I don't think it bothers Devontae Smith. I don't think any of them care. think they're all focused on what they've got to do. But everybody's going to make a big deal of it. Not me. I'm not making a big deal of it. I think it means nothing, okay? What I'm going to make a big deal of is how these guys play every week. I mean, you're playing a New York Giant team that went out there in the first game and beat your ass on Thursday Night Football. They beat you. They embarrassed. I was embarrassed, all right? I'm still embarrassed about that game, all right? I am. It's an embarrassing loss, all right? If I'm a player, I want to kill this team. I want to kill this team and crush this team this week. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? And I think the Eagles are going to go out, and I think that they're going to do that. That's what I care about, okay? And I also care about how does this team get better going forward, because you've got this Giants game, you got to win it, right? That gets you to 6-2, then you get a bye week. Then you come back with the two most important games of the year, the Green Bay game and the Detroit game back to back. You win, I think if you split those two games and you win the games that you're supposed to win going down the stretch, you're probably the number one seed in the NFC because you've got a tiebreaker on the Rams, you've got a tiebreaker on the Bucs. Maybe you have to worry about the 49ers record because they got a weak schedule, but you're in pretty good shape, okay? So the Eagles, to me, it gets serious by the time you play Green Bay. And you gotta start figuring these things out. And the edge rusher spot is still the spot that they've got to pursue. They've got to go out and get a guy. Now, I think there's one guy that you need to go and get, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. But I think he's got to be your number one guy. However, there are two pass rushers on the Dolphins that could look to be traded, right? Call it now. How many Dolphins will be traded before the deadline? Fowler said this. I'll say two. A pass rusher and another one, and one other. So Fowler is saying that he thinks the Dolphins are going to trade both Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb to a deal, with Phillips having the most trade value of Miami's edge rushers. Several personnel departments have been enamored with his trajectory, which was derailed by injury. Miami doesn't appear ready to give the 2026 free agent an extension. It could be similar to Washington trading Chase Young and Montez Sweat at the deadline 2 years ago. So, to me, the reason I bring Miami up so much is because when I look at this team, I'm looking for an edge rusher primarily for this year. All right, I think we can figure it out, long-term next year. Now, if you want to get Jalen Phillips, he could be very impactful to you maybe 2 years down the road, but you're going to have to give him an extension. Same thing with Jermaine Johnson. Those are younger guys that may be more impactful 2-3 years down the road. But for this year, to go out and get a guy, I think Bradley Chubb is the guy to get. A lot of people talk about Trey Hendrickson. It was kind of reported today that Max Crosby is not going to get traded by the Raiders. Sorry, stinky Cowboys. But Hendrickson is probably out there. The Eagles could pursue him. He could help. However, there's a lot of questions about whether he would fit Vic Fangio's system and what he does. Bradley Chubb, on the other hand, was with Vic Fangio in Denver. He knows him. I think he might have been with him in Miami, too, for a little bit. So he knows Vic Fangio. Fangio knows him. This is the perfect fit. He's got 4 sacks on the year already, which is more than any Eagle player right now. You add Bradley Chubb, you're adding a guy who will be your best edge rusher right away. And he can be impactful right away. And he can adjust quicker than most other guys because he knows what he's coming into. That's very important to me, especially if you're coming out of a bye week having to play Green Bay and Detroit. He also has no guaranteed money left with 2 years left on his contract. So the Eagles could easily restructure that if they wanted to and have him for a few years. Bradley Chubb makes the most sense. Now, will the Eagles trade for Bradley Chubb? I do think it's very possible. I think he's definitely a player in it. But most likely, if we know Howie, it'll be somebody we're not thinking about that goes and is on some other team that we didn't even know was available, and we can't believe he was available, but Howie had been planning it for a long time. That is very true. That something like that can happen. And let me tell you, if this is going to happen, it's got to happen after the Eagles beat the Giants. And I think they're going to beat the Giants. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Are you trying to get a good night's sleep? Are you tired of not just dealing with the light in the room, but all the noise? Well, let me introduce you to the Manta Sound Mask, which does more than just block out the light. It replaces noise with calm. With soft speakers built right in, you can fall asleep to music, meditation, podcasts without the clunky headphones or tangled wires. It fits perfectly, feels good, and shuts out all distractions so you can finally rest. The Manta Sound Mask creates the ideal sleep environment by combining complete blackout with user choice of audio to help them fall asleep faster and sleep longer. Enjoy total comfort, zero distractions, no pressures on the eyes or the ears, no tangling wires, no falling out earbuds. It enhances sleep quality with calming soundscapes, meditations, or white noise, quieting your mind and improving your overall sleep. This all-in-one solution replaces multiple products like masks, earbuds, sound machines, with a single tool perfect for side sleepers, travelers, light sleepers, and anyone needing better rest. Visit the Manta Sleep website to find the Manta Sound Mask and check out all their other sleep masks and accessories. Use my promo code Philly500 and get 10% off your purchase. That's just use promo code Philly500. Link is in the description, and get 10% off your purchase and get a better night's sleep. So you see right there, the Eagles are in good shape to get to 6-2, get to the bye week, and make a deal. All right, now let's say the Eagles went out and they got Bradley Chubb. Right, let's just say, for argument's sake, they bring Chubb in. So you bring Chubb in. Now, by the time you play Green Bay, right, you're going to have potentially 3 new guys in your pass rush. All right, you're going to have Brandon Graham, who will probably be making his first start, I guess, in that Green Bay game. You're also going to have most likely Nolan Smith back from injury, and hopefully he's healthy. My fear and my hope with Smith is that he was hurt early on, and he comes back and he's healthy. And then if you trade for a guy like Bradley Chubb, you would have him. So if Howie makes a move, the Eagles could have 3 guys added to that defensive line, to that edge rusher spot by the time they go and play Green Bay. I think that's a huge deal, okay? And I think Bradley Chubb's got to be the guy. Now, like I said, Jalen Phillips, to me, he's a guy, I think he has 2 sacks on the year. He's a guy that comes in and probably helps you more down the road if you sign him. Jermaine Johnson, same thing. But Bradley Chubb, he knows Vic Fangio. He knows what he has to do. And he looks like is the most healthy he's been in a long time. Already have 4 sacks on the year. I think you bring in Chubb. I think he's the guy. And I think you can get him for about a 4th-round pick. Maybe a 5th, right? But I think a 4th-round pick would be fine. With the Eagles' amount of their draft picks that they have, and the amount of compensatory picks that they're going to get, that they're not losing anything by making that one move. That one move, to me, changes everything. Now, if you add those 3 pass rushers, and Ja'Cory Bennett can come in and play just competent, all right, all of a sudden this defense will go to the next level. I truly believe that. That Bradley Chubb trade, if they could do it, to me, is so important. And they got to pull something like that off. That's what we're looking for the Eagles. And if they can do that, then they can fix that run game by the time the playoffs start. This team is going to go back and win the Super Bowl again. No doubt in my mind. With that said, hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. And of course, don't be a dingbat. And let me say it. It's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. It's Kelly Green week, and I love it. I love it. And here's the thing. The whole idea of Kelly Green being an alternate jersey, all right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those that love the midnight green that grew up on it. But the facts of the matter is, Kelly Green sells way more than the regular midnight green. You look at the stadiums, it's all Kelly Green. Kelly Green is where it's at. It's got to come back. And we're going to have to talk about changing all three jerseys, okay? The home, the away, and the alternate. We'll do that at a later time. But, yeah, Kelly Green is back, and it should just stay forever. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.